and click. Hello, I'm Paul Murphy, author of Paul Murphy's Extremely Unlikely History of the World Part 1, and I don't know who the bloke in the blue shirt is. Tell you, it's my son Dylan's favourite. Can't tell you? I just need to reach over for my glasses. Did you enjoy that? Was that good for you? What a reach. What a glasses reach, right? Right, okay. I'm carrying on from where I was to before, but if you've just come across this by chance, you have no idea where that is, do you? You'd have to go through all my YouTube videos trying to find it out. So we're doing France, okay? And we're halfway through the France chart. Must excuse me, I'm trying to focus on the safety camera up there. It's in the wrong place for some reason or other. Antiquity, 6th century BC to 5th century AD. In 600 BC, Ionian Greeks originating from Phocia, that's a real name as well, what am I giggling? Founded the colony of Massalia, now known as present-day Marseille, thanks to the dyslexians, on the shores of the Mediterranean Sea. This makes it France's oldest city, although at the time it was the youngest. At the same time, give or take half an hour, some Gallic Celtic tribes penetrated parts of the current territory of France, and this occupation spread to the rest of France between the 5th and the 3rd century BC, which shows just what slow walkers they were. They did have donkeys, but because they hadn't yet invented the concept of riding them, they carried them on their backs. This slowed their progress considerably, although they were still faster than your average DPD driver. I apologise unreservedly, DPD drivers. You do a good job, I guess. Some theories suggest that the Gallic Celtic tribes reached the rest of France as early as the 5th and a bit century, but have forgotten to lock the front door and had to go back and do it. Why not leave the donkeys here? You'll go faster, asked Gallic Celt Bright Spark Frank. That's the coward's way out, replied Gallic Celt Pre-Brain Frank. The concept of Gaul emerged at that time. Let's create a region of Western Europe encompassing what will one day become present-day France, Luxembourg, Belgium, most of Switzerland, northern Italy, as well as parts of the Netherlands and Germany on the west bank of the Rhine that covers an area of 494,000 kilometers squared, 191,001 square miles, said Gallic Celt too much time on his hands, Frank. So they did. The borders of modern France are roughly the same as those of ancient Gaul, so you could call it latter-day Gaul. Try it next time you go to France on holiday. They'll love you for it. Honest. Around 390 BC, the Gallic chieftain Brennus and his troops made their way to Italy through the Alps. Alps? Through the Alps? What shall we call these? Call them the Alps. Let's shorten it. Let's put an apostrophe there, make it the Alps. Defeated the Romans in the Battle of the Allia on 18th of July, besieged and ransomed Rome, and still got home in time to give the missus a portion before Cocoa. The Gallic invasion left Rome weakened, although Plutarch contends that the Gallic invasion left Rome by the weekend. The Gauls continued to harass the region until 345 BC, mainly by rude text messages. I'm just going to get myself comfortable. Yeah, a bit better. What about you? You comfy? During the... Here, you read some. I'll tell you what, you do some of the voices and I'll do some of them, okay? During the 2nd and 1st centuries BC, Gaul fell under Roman rule. Gallia Cisfonia was conquered in 203 BC, and she wasn't best pleased about it. Gallia Narbonensis was conquered in 123 BC, and still has a tattoo to prove it. Gaul was invaded after 120 BC by the Cimbri and the Teutons, who were the first Doctor Who villains. They in turn were defeated by the Romans by 103 BC, but later appeared in an episode of Blake 7. This isn't working out, is it? Julius Caesar finally subdued the remaining parts of Gaul in his campaigns of 58 to 51 BC. The Gauls mixed with Roman settlers as a preferable alternative to being killed by them, and they eventually adopted Roman culture, Roman haircuts, and Roman speech. Latin, from which the French language evolved. The first words they learned to say were, "Please refrain from killing us further." And the first words they learned to write were, "Caesar is a ghouly merchant," which they painted on the walls of the Colosseum. Unfortunately for them, they wrote it on the inside walls, and it was filled with lions at the time. Frankish kingdoms, 486 to 497, yet it was still at half time. From 425 onwards, the Roman Empire was in decline. Oh. In 486, I keep looking at the wrong place on that camera. Oh. In 486, Clovis I, leader of the Salian Franks, defeated Roman commander Sigarius at the Battle of Soissons, and then again at table tennis. His prize was to defeat Sigarius' wife at Soissons on a tennis table, just to rub it in. I messed that up completely, but I'm sure you can work it out. Funny when you buy the book and read it. What? No, well, you can't do any better. Everybody's a critic. He subsequently united most of northern and central Gaul under his rule, and the rest of it under his protractor. If I could have said the word protractor, they would have come out okay. I'm terribly sorry. If you read the other, listen to the other videos, you know that I'm not in the very best of health at the moment. Oh, that took some of the shine off the last, didn't it? He became king of the Franks and insisted that they all choose individual names, as at the last census result there was only one person in the whole bloody country. He thus ended any lingering chance I had of extending the Frank skit any further. Well, it had run its course, frankly. That is a reference to a previous video. I keep saying video, DVD. I don't know what I'm talking about here, man. The Carolingian dynasty ruled France until 987, when Hugh Capet, Duke of France and Count of Paris, was crowned king of the Franks. Franking hell, said his subjects. His first act was to issue a decree telling everybody to stop calling him Huge Carpet. You wouldn't complain if your name was Hugh Knob, they replied. His descendants, the Capetians, the House of Valois, the House of Bourbon, and the House of Ill Repute, progressively unified the country through wars, dynastic inheritance, and backgammon into the Kingdom of France, which was fully declared in 1190 by Philip II Augustus. Philip was given the nickname Augustus by the chronicler Rigaud for having extended the crown lands of France so remarkably, and the name Bumgustus by his neighbours for having extended the power of onion soup fuel flatulence so remarkably. I'll just do one more little bit here. So, French kings in the Middle Ages, in no particular order except chronologically. Capetian dynasty, House of Capet. Hugh Capet, aka Huge Carpet, 940 to 996. Robert the Pious, renowned for eating pies, 996, 1027. Henry I, although what he won nobody knows for sure, 1027 to 60. That one didn't work if you read it as Henry I did it. Philip I, 1060 to 1108, crowned king at age 7. He invaded many countries on the grounds that they are all smelly poo-poo heads. Louis IV the Fat, 1108 to 37, and that's just his weight in kilograms. Louis the V11, whatever that is, 7th, the Young, 1137 to 80, initiated the construction of Notre Dame de Paris out of cheese. Philip II Augustus, 1180 to 1223, see many lines above, or below if you're reading this book upside down. Louis V111, the Lion, 1223 to 26, died of dysentery. Lucky not to have been given a less pleasant nickname. Saint Louis the 10th, 1226 to 70, also died of dysentery. Who knew it was hereditary? Philip III the Bold insisted on the spelling being changed from A to O, so nobody knew he was a slaphead. 1270 to 85, died of dysentery as well, as he was determined to follow in the family tradition. Philip IV the Fair, 1285 to 1314, expelled the Jews from France on Friday the 13th, 1307. He annihilated the order of the Knights Templar, so he wasn't that fair, was he? Who names these kings? This goes on forever, doesn't it? I might have to change this better, but... No, okay, no, I'll continue going on. I won't actually, I'm going to stop and come back to it a little bit more.